So you're out there, you acquired some gear. You've been working at building up your business. You're in the clubs. Whatever it is that you're doing, you got to charge for it. That's what the business is about, right? Today we're going to talk about pricing and some misconceptions. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you haven't been here before, my name's DJ Yoshi. I'm a sports and touring DJ from the New York City area. Been in the game for nearly about 30 years now with clients from the NFL to some of the big boxes that you know. Today we're talking about pricing. You've been out there, you've gone around, you've built your name up, you've picked up some gear, you're working. And this could also apply to you if you've been doing it for 20 years. Pricing, how do you go about doing it? The reason that I'm recording this video today is I was recently on social media, I was on Threads, and I posted something that I thought was appropriate. I'm getting tired of watching other DJs be used. That's right, DJs are out there being used. Hoard around. I've recently gotten inquiries of, well, this DJ is going to do it for me for $750. Okay, you want that DJ to bring all the gear, sound, lighting, screens, facade, DJ for 4 hours, MC, all that and more for $750. That's trash. That is absolute garbage, especially if it's a private event. DJs, there are photographers out there who are making $5,000 to $10,000 to handle these events. So why are you going to skimp on that? Now, back to the Threads issue. There was a DJ who responded to my post, "Why are you doing everything out there for $499? DJ responds, "Well, if anybody's going to pay me $499, I'll do all that." I respond with a picture. You have setup, breakdown, the actual working of the event, about 4 hours of prep time back and forth with your client. You have load in of the actual gear and then load out. The commute there. So all in all, you're working about 10 to 14 hours for a single event. 10 to 14 hours for a single event. So your $499 has just basically been reduced to $50 an hour, even less than that. He responds, if it's taking you longer than 1 hour to load in, set up, and do everything, then you have a different problem. I said, okay. Sent him back a picture. Bigger setup. The screens, the projections, facade, sparklers, dancing on clouds. And I said, okay, if you're gonna do all this for $499 and you're gonna set up in 1 hour, I will hire you today. I will pimp you out today at that $499 rate. Y'all are settling. Y'all are settling for a rate that is just hot trash. And don't get me wrong, money is money. Any sort of money helps, right? There was a time where I was dead freaking broke, and that's gonna be in a different video. Yeah, I was dead broke, made the wrong choices. But guess what? I did not go back and say, well, I'm gonna DJ this event and handle all that with all this gear and 14 hours worth of work, and I'm gonna do it for $499. Absolutely not. So what's your baseline? Yes, your market matters. That's always everybody's response. Well, I live in a secondary market. I live in a tertiary market. Guess what, guys? Some of those secondary and tertiary markets that you're speaking about, where you're from, I'm getting booked at my New York rates, plus travel to fly to those markets and play. Think about that. So if someone is willing to book me at $34.95 plus travel to come to your secondary and your tertiary market, why are you not charging just a little bit more? Instead of $4.95, why don't you go to $9.99? Instead of $9.99 as your base, you can slide to $15.95. Here's the thing. Yes, raising your rates, it's gonna affect you. A little bit. So let's say you're DJing for your $4.99 rate 3 times a week. All right, you're working on volume that way. You're making $78,000 for the year. Now, $78,000, you take out your taxes, it's roughly around $21,000. Then you have all your other expenses, rent and mortgage, insurance, everything, including gas. And I took everything else into account, like the average cost that it is to live in the United States. From the general cost of food, to the average tank of gas, to how much it costs to run your home with energy, water, sewer, everything like that. We took that into account. You know what you're taking home? That $78,000 is now netting you $20,000. You're $20,000. Let's really break that down. You're gonna be DJing the rest of your life. You're gonna be working the rest of your life. You're not gonna be able to really save in retirement, right? So after you pay your house off, after you pay everything off, your net in retirement should be roughly about 50% of your general earnings when you are working. Even if you put away $6,500, which is the max that anyone can put away towards their own IRA, unless they do a backdoor or unless they do it as a small business and they register that as their small business, and then they can put in as much as $130,000 into a non-taxable IRA, which you guys should. Do the $6,500. By the time it takes you to retire in 20 years, that $6,500 a year, compounding interest, and I was generous when I did this compounding interest calculator, you're only taking home $328,000. 20 years worth of work, $328,000, okay? You can only live for maybe another 5 to 7 years. So when you double that rate, okay, and I went through this. I went through a period of time where I went from charging $750 a night in a club to we're not taking less than $1,000. $2,000 if I'm playing in Atlantic City or Vegas. Private event, not taking less than $29.95. Before that, we were generally 40% lower than that, 30% lower than that, depending on what the package was. My first year was the hardest year. We had to say no to a lot of bookings, and we held firm on that. So yes, this was even while I was broke. So that year of 2012, 2013, it was a struggle. But when you get in that sweet spot of where you're not the cheapest DJ, and that's why they're booking you, you're not the most expensive DJ, but you're right there, plus or minus 10% in the median range, your bookings will take care of itself. And guess what? Your 3 nights a week may be getting reduced to 2 nights a week. But 2 nights a week at $1,500 is $3,000 in a week. 2 nights in a week at the $1,495 range instead of 3 nights a week at that $495 range. Okay? You can even do 1 night in a week and you're still making the same amount with less work. That should be how you start to build your rates up. If you're charging the same amount of money that you were charging back in, let's say 2000, let's say you started this in 2000. Everyone complains about inflation now from the time of COVID lockdown to where we're at now. So why are you charging the same rates that you're charging from 20 years ago? Why are you charging the same rates that you're charging from 10 years ago? If you're not at least increasing your prices for the minimum amount of inflation that is going on in the world, you're not gonna be able to survive. It's not sustainable. That's why I'm passionate about this. That's why I get angry about this. That's why when I see other DJs, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that gig for $400, $500. Blows my mind. Yes, there are events where when the inquiry comes in and it's pro bono request or it's a discounted rate request because it's a philanthropic organization, yeah, we take that into consideration. Sometimes I'll do events where I know what the guest list is looking like. Millionaires, billionaires in the room. So what do? Yeah, we may take a little bit less. But it's all within that general range, and then the discounts apply. So what should you do? It's only up to you. Yeah, you listened to this, you watched it, you shared it out, you either agreed, you disagreed, you're angry at me, you love me, but I'm being real right now when I tell you how much I charge. And you can even go to that link below, and that takes you right to our general packages for 2024. It's time to get real with yourselves, y'all. Yeah, it's cool to have that busy calendar. Yo, I'm at 30 places this month. Cool. But you know what's really cool? Enjoying your life and being able to take time for yourself, take time for your family, take time for your kids, take time for your parents and your loved ones. Take time for you to be a better person and to not burn out. Because eventually, when you're chasing checks, that's what happens. You burn out. I suffered that burnout. Suffered it early. I took a year and a half off. Just about a year and a half off. Because of the burnout. You don't have to bang people out and introduce a 100% increase right now. You can do 25%, 25%, 25%. Roll that out over the next 3 years. But unless you do, can you really live with that 3 events in 1 week at $495, taking home $78,000, but then after all your expenses, it's reduced down to $20,000, maybe $24,000? Come on now. Come on now. I want y'all to do better for yourselves. Take it from me as I'm transitioning into the twilight of my career. Y'all gotta do better. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you took out of this video. Or, you can fight me. Go ahead. I wanna know what you guys think about this, and I'll see you guys in a future video. Peace.
DJ Yoshi.